right. We have some great speeches and some great evaluations. I'd like to mention one thing though. None of the speeches had any specific objectives, so the evaluations will be just generalized. For our first evaluation of Ernie Penzaz, am I pronouncing correctly? Penza, I'm sorry. I'm bad on names. That's why I went into programming. Will be Renee Moy. Please welcome Renee Moy.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and mostly Ernie. I have the privilege of giving you some feedback on your project this evening. You came up tonight and just spoke to us. I'm not sure if this was a planned speech that you had before or if this was just one of the things that you came up with off the top. But I have to say, it was very enjoyable. You had a very natural body opening as well as in the body. Your speech transitioned really well. And then when you saw that light, man, just like a Toastmaster, you wrapped it up. So I felt like the speech went very well. The content, some of the content that you spoke on that helped me identify with this was you used your personal life. You spoke of your family and how you had 5 children, your wife who had passed away, but then the things that you accomplished in your life because you had a dream and not allowing anyone to kill that dream, and how important it is for us not to do that to children who always should be encouraged. I had to look very carefully and difficultly, really, to find something to give you feedback on as far as your presentation. There were maybe a couple of things that I would just recommend. During your project, you stayed at the back of the lectern, and you did have your materials, which you did use to show us. I think, again, this is something that you knew near and dear to your heart. I would have liked to have seen you come to this position of the speaking section. The other item that I would mention would be hands. Your hands sort of stayed here for most of your speech. In fact, it was when you started to use your props that your hands became more purposeful in their use. So I would say consider that, dropping the hands and using them when it is more appropriate to make a gesture or to make a point, so that then they don't just seem to be moving at this point, but they mean they have more purpose. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone else did, and we all probably had different takeaways from your speech. But writing a book isn't necessarily my dream, but you did encourage me to not to stop dreaming my dream. So thank you for that, Mr. Joe Evaluator.
Thank you. Our next evaluation for Joyce Thomas's speech is Jared Powers. Please welcome Jared.
It is a great day at North Jack's Toastmasters. Joyce Thomas, let me thank you for the privilege of doing this evaluation of your 13th project. Everybody give Joyce a round of applause. Joyce, when you came to North Jack's Toastmasters, you were hesitant. I can remember just a month ago trying to get you up here, and it was like dragging you to the lectern. And then you get up here, and you have such a natural smile, you have humor, and you are a natural speaker, but you have taken time. You developed these skills to where you're at the 13th project. But what I commend you most on is that you have taken your Toastmaster skills and you have done what every Toastmaster desires to do. And to take these skills out of the ethereal, when we're just in here having a club, developing these skills, to where this is actually your daughter, and you are promoting her work. I must commend you on that. When you came up here to present this, nobody had any idea that you were that familiar with the author. And I do hope you get an autographed copy of it. But some of the things that you were to do was to understand the relationship of sales techniques to persuasion, to use the skills technique of developing interest and then appealing to. What I think that you could work on when you do this in future times, I imagine you'll probably be out promoting her book, is to build interest, to really get appeal. When you started out with the Gold Diggers Club, I thought you were talking about Ernie's Home Club Toastmasters. You know, the Gold Diggers Club. This is North Jack's Toastmasters Club. The Gold Diggers Club. That drew people in. But you want to build interest as it goes. Give us something. Leave us hanging at the end. Give us a reason that, man, I got to go out and buy this book. Another thing, too, is that you want to also consider your audience. Because when you have men in here, 50% of us are men. When it comes down to gold diggers, all right, we don't need to read it. I will say no more for the sake of my marriage.
For the sake of his marriage. To the safe road. Got donuts?
Can I say go on the clock, please.
Time for our two evaluations. Renee was 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and Jared was 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Both qualified.
All right. If you could write down the best evaluator and pass on to Mr. Toomey. While we're waiting for this, I'll do a general evaluation of the meeting. One, I'd like to thank both speakers for stepping up at the last second. We had some last-minute cancellations, and you guys did a great job. And while we started on time, and we had some slight changes, Jim, as always, you do a fantastic job being a Toastmaster. You make them always, you make the meeting so lively. I can only imagine what your sermons look like.
True that.
One day I'll have to find that one out. Otherwise, me went very smoothly. Table topics were fantastic. You did a great job, Joyce, on that. And for that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Toastmaster, Mr. Jim Hall.
One last word on them gold digger girls. I just learned a long time ago. I think it was my mama, Jonathan, that told